Meeting is called to order.
Bartelt,
Here.
Davis,
Here.
Girth,
Here.
Royal, Hudak,
Here.
Barton, Metz, Millette,
Here.
Palmieri,
Here.
Stevenson,
Here.
and Schellinger. Alright, thank you.
Ray, do you want to introduce Travis?
Yes, I'm pleased to announce to the board that Travis Dirks is our new landscape operations manager. I'll turn it over to Travis. You can give us a little bit of your history with the city and your previous background, but he's our landscape operations manager / city forester, so taking over a lot of the responsibilities that Bill had, and he's been doing this for about the last month and a half now,
Yeah, close to that.
so take it away.
I've been with the city for 9 years. I started out at the cemetery and then switched over to forestry. It's my background is forestry. So I've done, before I started with the city, I had probably about 15 years, no, not, can't be that much, 10 years of private with some major international companies, tree care companies, Bartlett, Davy, some of those. And then, yeah, found the cemetery position and started there.
In the last 9 years? lead
Last
worker
9 years
under
I've
Bill?
been here. Yep.
So, but 9 years under Bill as the lead
Yes.
worker? So-
Past 5 under
Okay.
as lead.
So,
Oh, welcome. All right, looking at the March 14th minutes, any comments, questions, changes?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright, thank you.
It doesn't look like any citizen statements this evening. Any old business? Nope, we're good. All right, moving on to new business. Ann?
yep. So we have Ann Schaefer here, who is our marketing and fund development coordinator for our department, to present the 2021 Parks Department Impact Report. She'll go through each of our divisions, kind of highlight a couple areas, and take any questions we might have.
Hi, guys. So each year, we put together some of the highlights of the past year. One of the things that was a major theme throughout this year was the fact that we heard very frequently, this is my first time out. So it was really exciting for us to hold the events that we did, because many of the comments were, I haven't gone out yet. I felt comfortable coming here because it's outdoors and you can be spaced around. So that was very exciting. Once again, the mission is from our parks plan. It doesn't change. So we're here, and it's all about quality of life for the community. And I was looking at some of the parks today after that volunteer group came through, and it's greening up. It's something we should all be proud of. So it's really wonderful to see. Stacy, I'm not sure how.
Just click the left.
Yeah. Maybe, do you want to, can you advance? I'll just let you know.
How about that? Yeah, you just tell me next slide and I'll be your next slide.
It's a deal. It's a deal. So, we talked about the impact and how it was a great opportunity for people to start connecting again. Everybody's familiar, I hope, at this point with the park's administrative staff. We're all excited to have Travis join the team. Otherwise, the rest of us have been here a while. I can't believe it, but I'm going into my 6th year. So time went really fast. And there's smiling Chad serving up beer at the Brews on the Bay. So you can go the next page. So the city's strategic plan, we are now all being tasked to make sure that we provide key performance indicators. So it gives our team and the community an idea of how well we're doing and are we delivering on what our goals are. We received $393,000 in grants and donations. 16,445 people attended department events, and we had 10,284 volunteer hours. I think you guys are all aware that the volunteer hours have become critical to us holding events. Staffing shortages makes this really important. So without those volunteers, Brews on the Bay, Leach Amphitheater, those things become hard to put together. Just a little overview of what I did last year. It was the first year since the pandemic that the Oshkosh Senior Center Friends Group came back for Food Truck Fridays. That's a huge fundraiser for us. Just a FYI, the Friends gives us $65,000 each year. That's 10% of the senior center operating budget, so it's really key. We added Instagram to social media. We're planning on growing that. One thing I noticed about Instagram, I usually post a lot of posters and event info. They really want to see photos, so we'll concentrate on that more this year. I'm going back to school. I'm attending a fundraising school that the foundation put together, and we got a grant for that. So hopefully I'll get better at my job. So far, so good. And then we did get a $216,000 grant for from the DNR for trails at Lakeshore Park. Next page. Brews on the Bay, new events. Thank you, Jenny, Chad, everybody that was involved there. They were really successful. 150-year hiatus. People were thrilled to see them come back. I just gave you a couple quotes that we heard on Facebook. Sure would be great to spend a summer in Oshkosh because of all these great events. To me, that means we're doing our job, bringing quality of life activities to the public. Next page. Parks Department strategic priorities and operations. The most exciting thing is the new administrative building is well underway. Ray, what do you think? In a year, we're going to be in there, maybe?
Probably midsummer of '23.
So all of us under one roof will be a huge advantage. They also completed West Haven Circle Park. That was for new play equipment and also the athletic field, the ball field. Pickleball is hugely popular, and South Park had the tennis courts renovated, and pickleball courts are there, and people are super excited about it. There's still a lot of buzz and excitement about the Four Seasons building that is going to be out at Lakeshore Park. We've already had inquiries if they can rent it for weddings next summer. So we're going to hold off on that until we make sure it stays on time. Next page. The landscape ops division was busy. They planted 156 terrace trees, pruned 1,900 trees, removed 320 trees affected by the emerald ash borer, and removed 275 stumps from terraces and parks. Landscape works a lot of times with the Oshkosh Healthy Neighborhoods, and they recently used some of the Good Neighborhood grant money to enhance and refresh Hiker Monument, which is right across from Payne Arts Center. Special events. So people scrambled with their events, and they had to be reimagined to keep them safe for the community. Kathy Snell permitted 90 events in 2021. Celebration fairs and sporting events were the most popular, and third was run walks. So we look to that number to increase. Next page. Facility attendance. The zoo was the star again. 97,000 visitors. It's a huge attraction. It's a free zoo, which certainly makes that appeal very high. We saw 33,000 people at Pollock Water Park. Next page. Revenue facilities. That is Menominee Park, Leach, the Children's Amusement Center, and Pollock. So as you can see, Jenny has been working diligently on sponsorships, and she introduced Brews on the Bay. And then we also had kids camps at Pollock Water Park. So the number of sponsorship dollars were $36,500. We're doing something different. The special events coordinator, Kathy Snell, is spearheading efforts to help us recruit and retain volunteers. And I would say that it's working extremely successfully. When you look at the Brews on the Bay, it was half staff, half volunteers. So that was exciting. Next page. So the Oshkosh Senior Center really got hit during the pandemic with attendance. But I'm happy to say in 2020, it really dipped. But 2021, we opened up a lot more programming, and attendance is on its way back to 2019 numbers at this point. Next page. So the Oshkosh Senior Center was really a safe haven for older adults. We heard over and over again, boy, we feel safe here, we masked. We did a lot of extra cleaning protocol. We social distanced as much as possible. And I think that really got them back. 60% of our attendance at the center is for fitness. And we definitely recognize that people, as they stayed at home, lost momentum there, and they were excited to get back and get back with the program. The Ladies Benevolent Society granted us funds so that we could take some of our programs outside. We held a concert with the Del Reys at the Leach. They loved it. They could space out as much as they needed to. One thing that we did during the pandemic right from the beginning was nail care. And nail care is not what we think it is, a pedicure and a manicure. It's really about those with conditions that need to keep their feet healthy, and it's critical to good health. So in 2021, we increased numbers there. Connect Through Tech has been a huge success. That's the program that we received the large grant for. So far, we've had 1,884 people come through at events, 321 individuals, and they come back 5.86 times. It's not a one and done. They really appreciate the instruction. Helping older adults with digital literacy is really starting to become a basic need. And so we'll continue to focus on those issues. We had a lot of new partnerships. Learning in Retirement became one of our partners, and we've put programs together with them, and they've been attended by 100, 150 people at a time. So that's it in a snapshot. Do you guys have questions? Sure.
So, going back to the volunteer hours, we captured our grant dollars and donations. Do we quantify the in-kind contribution of those volunteer hours? I want to say the National Volunteer Association or whatever organization it is used to be $17 an hour. Do we capture that?
Yeah, in fact, there's a dollar figure with it.
Go to page 3.
It's $293,531. And we do go by that national number. It's now $28.50 almost. So,
It's right on the third page there in the yellow box.
I don't have the,
Oh, oh,
and it wouldn't open,
oh,
so.
no, I just meant it for
On
future
here.
reference, if
Um,
you
Yeah.
want it. It's right in here.
Do we have any extra of these?
You can have it.
Oh, great. This is really, really a wonderful report. Thank you so much. This is, I think, been long desired to see this. This is
yeah,
really nice.
we've been doing the impact report, and I'm thrilled that we're all embracing a new program called Canva. And it makes things look a
Yes.
lot nicer, and it allows a person like me, who's not a graphic artist, to up their game.
I think it looks great.
Thanks.
I agree.
It's all original photography
Yeah.
to the area. Quite a bit borrowed from Visit Oshkosh, who encourages us to use their photos.
Not the best pictures of Chad, though.
Isn't it though? I think that was our first one, Chad. How hot was it?
Striving for space, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Listening.
Yeah. So, any other questions?
Was there a page here with the KPI? Oh, there they are, right in front of me.
Thanks, Ann.
Yeah,
Ann.
thanks.
Looks
I'm gonna
great.
head back to a neighborhood meeting. Have a great meeting.
Thank you.
All right, next up is the status of the Quarry Park restroom and shelter and parking lot.
Yes, as we're preparing projects with the transportation as well as engineers and DPW in the city, looking at the various parking lots throughout the city, they are evaluated and assessed based on their condition. And as many of you know, a lot of those are in the parks, a lot of those are in poor condition. So the one that is being looked at currently was the parking lot at Quarry Park. We actually barricaded it off, it's so bad at this point, and many of you, or maybe you don't know, but it's a former landfill, similar to Red Arrow Park, where we're having a lot of those same issues where the land is settling, not only in the parking lot, but the buildings and so forth. So as we were looking at this project, we started looking at the restroom shelter facility, which, to be honest, hasn't been open, I think, since Chad and I have been here, so about 12 years. The soccer and football groups, soccer used it for storage a couple of years. But other than that, it's something that we had in our CIP for a major renovation in a few years. But as we're looking at the parking lot project and this project, we're beginning to question the need for that facility, because we also had to get the input from the DNR, because any work we do at that site, we're going to have to work closely with the DNR. There's going to be obviously heavy restrictions on what we need to do to cap off the area, what we have to do in the parking lot if we continue with the parking lot. But they also gave us some preliminary thoughts on the restroom facility. And if we were to use that or allow the public to begin using it and we renovate it, we're most likely going to be putting a lot of recirculation, a lot of HVAC, a lot of ventilation into the system to make sure that it's safe for public use. So when we looked at our CIP, and I think it was about 3 years down, I don't have it in front of me, I believe we had about $150,000 budgeted for that renovation. Our comfort level with that number, based on the world today, plus knowing that we'd have to do probably some major upgrades, we started asking, do we need that facility? We really haven't had concerns by anybody that uses the park. Mainly it's the neighbors at this point. So we wanted to bring it to you and get your thoughts, because something we would consider is getting rid of the parking lot entirely, working with the DNR to remove it, cap off the site, adding more green space versus the impervious, and getting rid of the building, again, because there's a foundation. We'd have to work closely on what we would have to do to make sure that the site is capped off as well. There is adjacent parking on the side streets, so people visiting the park would still be able to have some street parking. So as we're working on our CIP projects right now, I wanted to bring it to you and get your thoughts. That's what our initial thinking is, but again, we're open to what you might see or what you've seen at the park, I guess.
So will there be a vote on this tonight, Ray?
I think it'll be more of a vote when we bring the CIP, because if we decide that we're not going to include it in the CIP, I would have to make sure that the council is aware, and Mark and the finance director when we bring it forward.
So are you referring to kind of like, basically kind of abandoning this as an active space? It would be more of a passive?
And I think that's more of what it has become because of the ventilation system out there.
Right.
I don't even know, we reached out to the soccer groups just to find out exactly how much they're going to use it. Does that one have the soccer goals? I think that one has some soccer goals. We're looking at some soccer goals maybe not being needed because they've moved most of their program out to county park, so.
I guess the reason I was asking this, and this might be a question for Forrester too, is there an opportunity, if we were to go that direction, removing that impervious surface, removing that restroom, of enough tree plantings to, I guess, kind of mitigate, further stormwater issues, pollution issues, kind of an urban forest passive space? Is that a candidate for that?
I think it's something we could look at, again, based on what the DNR would allow as far as
Sure.
how far down, and there's been extensive work done out there for the ventilation system. But I think it's something we definitely want to look at because it's an open, barren park, basically. So even if we could get some tree cover in there, I think it'd be worthwhile looking at. And if we do something, get rid of the parking lot and this shelter, there might be an opportunity to do that as part of the restoration project. But
Okay.
definitely something I think that could be used out there. And I think we're finding that it's more of a neighborhood park. It's more of the neighbors coming there and doing some, whether it's Frisbee, activities with their kids, or just kicking a soccer ball around. It's less organized, so.
I think I'm all for getting rid of the parking lot. Our roads are the biggest parking lot we have, and they're incredibly underutilized. So any time we can give, I think, pavement back to green space and back to the neighborhood is a good thing. And I don't know what the situation is with the environmental here, but I know we had when I worked in Menasha, we had a place called the Magic Forest. It's not magic, it's contaminated. But we worked with the DNR to put species of trees on top of it that leach the crap out of the soil. So again, I don't know what the situation is here, but that you can,
Oh.
in some cases, plant trees that help the situation. So.
It's similar to that and to, I mean, when we got here, after it was the completion of the project, you had to wait 10 years before it could be developed.
Sure.
From all that stuff to see what was happening with the grounds and all that. I think from a part of an active use area for soccer and football wise, there's test wells out there that are uneven. Some are almost in the field of play, no matter how they organize fields. So it's not really conducive for that type, of play either anymore.
Yeah,
So.
sure.
As far as the location of other parks, I know that it's fairly close to South Park. Sometimes you've shared with us that map of like the circle radius. How does having those restroom facilities or that space impact those maps that we have of our parks and serving the neighborhood?
I guess I would base it on the number of, or the lack of complaints that we've received not having that facility available. Even when the soccer and the football groups are out there, I'm not even sure if they brought a portable toilet at times.
Soccer would occasionally in the spring or in the springtime, but not in the fall.
So based on how much they are going to use it as well, we work with the organizations to provide portable toilets if we don't have those available. Same thing at 6th and Idaho. So as far as it affecting the service radii, we don't really take a look at the restroom facilities in the neighborhood parks, because a lot of our neighborhood parks don't have restroom facilities because your neighbors are typically walking there. So I think it would, as Joe and the mayor were saying, open up more green space, take away some of that impervious, and I think gives us an opportunity to look at some other creative things we can do. And I think what Joe was talking about, we actually did out at Lakeshore Park when we worked with the DNR on some of the contaminated area out there as well.
So if it has been used in 12 years, that kind of tells you in itself kind of that it's not really needed in the community over there. I can't remember, I've lived here a while, but wasn't there baseball diamonds out there? There were baseball diamonds out there a long time ago, which probably made sense for the extra parking and the restrooms, if baseball games were going out there, but none of that's happening. Every time I drive by, there's not organized activities out there, which is the main reason you're going to want bathrooms and extra parking. If it's being used as a community park, walk to it, the neighbors. I mean, I was just looking at it online, there's plenty of parking all around it at the square-wise where they can park on the street, so I'm for it, for not. Getting rid of the driveway and getting rid of the bathrooms.
I guess my other question would be, and perhaps this is further discussion for further down the line, are there some natural landscaping opportunities, native prairie, native shoreland type plantings that would alleviate need for mowing? Or is that maybe not desirable at this point?
Yeah, I think once we get the DNR seated at the table, I think we can have some of those discussions as well. So, and as we said when I responded to the mayor, I'm not looking for a vote tonight, but at least a consensus, I guess, that I think we'd be putting a lot more money into a facility that's really hasn't been requested a lot here. So it's that's kind of the direction we were leaning, and that we had our engineers and our transportation director wait until we could get some feedback here so that they could start planning as well. So, and we'll be bringing the CIP to the board in June, so you'll be able to see that as well.
And my apologies, I'm gonna have to leave early, but I just want to mention it. I didn't ask to put it on the agenda or anything, but just like to publicly thank Scott Groyle for his service. He couldn't make it with us here this evening, and he won't be continuing, but thank you, Scott, if you're watching. Really appreciate all the work and effort you've put into improving our park system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other, I think we've heard comments from just about everybody. Lauren, any thoughts you want to provide, or?
No, I think it, I think it does make sense to consider raising the building, considering that it hasn't been used in quite a while. And I do really like the idea of looking at, can we put in some different plants there and, yeah, get some shade going. And always for more green space, so.
Okay.
Something to complement the PVC pipe sticking out.
I echo Lester's comments about just everything hasn't been used in that long.
And you're saying just as far as there's not really opportunity for any additional like playgrounds or that kind of stuff. It just really is kind of undeveloped use, so it's worth just turning into more of a natural. Okay.
Yeah, because even putting in a play structure, we'd be excavating down a couple feet. So it's probably something that we wouldn't be able to get permitted as well.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's one of those, again, where you've got a landfill turned into a park that, you do the best you can and make it available and open to the public, basically, so. Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. Update on staffing shortage and the effects on park operations.
Yes, as I was asking staff for their updates for tonight, I think every one of them wanted to put staffing updates under their reports because it's something that obviously, it's not just affecting our department, but it's affecting city as a whole, as well as each of you in your jobs and nationwide. So I don't think it's no surprise. We have had a little bit of positive movement since we put the agenda out last week. One of our biggest areas of concern was at the pool. We, again, weren't seeing those 18 to 22-year-olds that typically are pool managers. And so Jenny, I believe, just this morning got an accepted offer from a pool manager. So we have one returning and one new, so we're feeling much better about that. Otherwise, we were going to be letting you know tonight that we may need to look at some reduction of hours there based on staffing. We do still need some maintenance staff at the pool. Maintenance staff at the pool and just general laborers in both the landscape operations and the park side of things. I believe we're 5 seasonal vacancies right now in that area. And what that means on our operations side is if we don't have those individuals we tended to rely on for mowing, restroom cleaning, those types of things, our full-time staff is doing that, which takes away our full-time staff from doing projects that we really need them to get done while we can get projects done. So it's not just the matter of having vacancies, it really affects the operations as well. So at the pool, I think there's 4 vacant positions for pool maintenance. Boat ranger, we're still looking for 1 to help fill in some vacancies. And the other big area is our amusements area. Jenny and I talked this morning. We've had a couple applicants, but I think this is one that we had 2 of them that were no-shows. I don't believe we have any currently hired, and they need to be 18 or older. What that means is we may not be opening up the train ride and the water rides unless we get some applicants and some hires within the next couple of weeks. We're obviously going to continue to push this. Our HR department has been working very diligently to get the word out on not just our seasonal positions, but everybody's seasonals as well as our full-time. Give you an idea on the full-time side, right now, we've actually had some hires that took place. We had a new individual start today, a new arborist. We still have a vacancy as an arborist full-time. We have a vacancy as a landscape operations ground specialist who works between forestry and the cemetery doing grounds maintenance and some mechanical things. And then Travis's previous position, the landscape lead worker, is currently vacant. What Travis and I decided was we're going to hold off filling that position until we could focus on getting more of the field staff hired and give Travis a little bit of time to evaluate how he wants to get the division aligned. So, I think the biggest area still is the general laborers, mainly the pool, but in the parks as well, but then also the amusements. So I wanted this board to know that, the amusements may or may not be available this summer, depending on what happens over the next couple of weeks. This is typically the time where Jenny's doing all the training, because I know we're training whenever the lake fly season is, and that's probably right around the corner. So it's really imperative for us, if there's anybody out there that is interested in summer work, and they're pretty good paying part-time jobs. The city increased all part-time positions by about $2 an hour this year. So all the positions are listed on the city website, full-time and part-time. If you have any questions, they can direct them to us. If you know somebody who has an interest, let us know. The amusements, last year we We reduced the operating hours down to Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. So it's, to the point where we may not be able to even staff that right now. So I don't know if anybody has anything I missed or you want to jump in.
Well, just like Ray was saying with amusement staff, the issue with not having them, that's also our special event staff. So depending upon areas that people work, our ball diamonds as well, down at Reed's Ball Diamonds, I have a manager filling in down there, but that's another position. We don't have anybody hired right now. Nobody has applied. So typically we use the staff from the ball diamonds and from the amusements to fill in on Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights for the beer gardens and the Leach Amphitheater, and without those staff, then we have no staff for events either. So it's really, it's really an issue, and we're hoping, like I just got one in today that I'm interviewing tomorrow morning. The minute they come in, I grab them and call them. So, but they're starting to kind of trickle in, but they've been out there since February 1st. So, and like Ray said, I got a position this morning, she accepted, and I start training next Monday for that position. So we had like 1 week to spare, so, but we made it for the pool, and the zoo's in great shape as far as things go over there, with our Lake Fly Cafe, but those kiddos can be younger. They can be 14, 15, 16 to work inside the pool for concessions and admission, so we're okay there. It's all of our jobs that you have to be 18 or older that we're really struggling with. So if you know anybody, or even special event staff, if they just want to work, once a week Tuesday night and the next week Wednesday night, just for some extra spending money, we'll take that just event staff. They might work full time somewhere else, and we just need them in the evening once a week to work events. That could be a fun, just kind of little side job for them too. So.
Could you send the special events out in an email? And I can definitely send that out to the
We will talk about that soon, but yes, we can get this to you electronically too, so, yeah.
She has one.
But she wants to send out an email though, she said.
Oh, just like to send to people for
Yeah.
potential if they wanted to work
Yes.
one day a week kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep, so we can we got some posters we can send you.
Awesome.
Electronically.
When we're talking amusements, we got the train and the paddle.
The
bikes.
water rides, yeah.
Got the
Kayaks,
So
canoes.
those are the two that are Chad got rid of the Ferris wheel. Not Ferris wheel, you have to go around, right? Yeah.
Oh, boy.
There's a can of worms.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Chad.
Thanks, Lester.
Back to what Ann was talking about, volunteers. That's something that we are really looking at now to help fill some of those gaps. Hence my email to this board saying if you have an evening that you want to help out, that'd be great. But Kathy Snell has been doing a good job, a great job getting information out, helping us to backfill some of these vacancies with volunteers at a lot of the special events mainly, so.
And if that is something that, as a board, you guys would like to do one night, say down at Tuesday nights, what we've been moving more towards, just due to staffing issues and due to sometimes volunteers not showing up either, right? They say they're coming and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I have no staff and no volunteers now. So, but we've been kind of like one Tuesday night, a choir restoration. They're going to kind of be like the celebrity bartenders down at the Leach. So, a group of them, 4 or 5 guys from there are coming down to work. So we know that they're going to come, and, we want to kind of promote it that way. Like, hey, come see the guys from, choir restoration. Serving drinks tonight. So that's something as a board, if you'd like to do one night, that would be awesome. Or if you know a group like that as well. I know we have Target likes to do that kind of stuff, Community for Hope. So reaching out to a lot of these groups to maybe do it that way as well, trying to fill all these openings that we have. So.
Any questions on that? It's kind of, we're in a holding pattern, hoping that things will continue to come in, but
Hang in there, guys.
thanks.
All right. Well, that does it for new business. On to staff reports. Ray?
Yes, 2 quick updates. At the most recent council meeting, the council did approve a agreement between the city, C.R. Meyer, and the Community Foundation for the bear/fox exhibit that we talked about last fall with you. Chad and I have been working on the design of that, and we'll be able to share that at a future meeting. We had a concept design, but not in a lot of detail. So that was a project that the council did approve. It is completely Thanks to donations, it's $1.4 million project, all donations, and thanks to Tom and Penny Herrenberg for a generous support on that project to get it going and keep it going. So you'll see, I believe, next week, that project will start kicking off. Unfortunately, with the world we're in, some of the HVAC and electrical components are anywhere from 32 to 52 weeks out. So we're going to see how things go. We're hoping that hopeful that it's going to be open for next year's zoo season about now. If we're able to get things moved up, obviously we will do so. So it's hard to give you a time, but stay tuned. It should be starting. You'll see movement out there. And then an update on the Lakeshore Park Four Seasons building. That project is well on its way. A lot of earth moving been going on. I know that they were working on the parking lot last Thursday when I was out there, putting some fill in. So it's going, and I haven't heard anything that has been affected by material availability on this project yet, so our goal is still to have that completed late this fall. I think November is our target date, but we'll see how things progress from here on out. But definitely, if you haven't been out there, take a ride. It looks really different. Obviously, the maintenance building being gone and just the grading going on. Definitely a different site along the waterway there. Any questions?
I would just like to echo a huge thank you to the donors for the Bear and Fox exhibit, because that's pretty awesome. And that's a lot of money, so it'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too. And I wanted to ask, this is just more personal curiosity, how soon do you have to make arrangements to get your bear and your fox as you're making your construction for your bear and your fox exhibit?
We actually have the bears, or excuse me, have the foxes already, and they're just gonna be transferred into
Okay.
the exhibit when it's, enclosure when it's done. As far as with the black bears themselves, that's already in progress.
Okay.
Working with different organizations, and different states, to figure out where we can get them located. So to go from. The bigger issue would be is if we have to transport them when it comes to time, depending on where they come from. If it's something locally or from within the state or Midwest, would be great. That's not a guaranteed. So we got other resources out there too, even to Alaska for this, because they have such a black bear issue, or concern with habitat areas and stuff like that, and abandoned bears too. So
there's a Parks Board field trip to go pick up the bear. is what I'm hearing.
you just don't know.
Yeah.
So
I'm available.
there's another municipal zoo in Wisconsin, Baraboo, that actually obtained their black bears from there, and that's how the connection started. And it worked out very well from their standpoint. So we reached out right away to see what the possibility would be on that end, especially to get something that's age appropriate for our exhibit. It'd be nice to start with something younger to train and work from that end, and plus that are compatible with one another, because we're looking for two, so it'll be fun.
I think the harder piece is going to try to pin down the date when the facility will be ready for a bear. We can find a bear, but it's a matter of when we can move it in, so.
Gotcha. Well, I know my kids will be excited. I think they were hoping for a polar bear, because we're in Wisconsin. We'll settle for black bear, so.
Well, thank you, Ray. Chad?
Just a couple updates for you in regards to the Riverside Park gazebo. I know we've been trying to get this one moving and going, and actually tomorrow is our day to hopefully start getting that facility installed, because it is a kind of a manufactured kit to work from. So hopefully within the next week or two, you'll see that going on, and within the next month or prior to the early part of June, that the concrete and sidewalk work will be done as well from that end. Also, Stacy's probably been the burden on this whole deal with the Memorial Bench program, because she follows up with all the orders and things coming in, and our shipments keep getting delayed. So I think last time we had a few to get in, which we had 2, and I think we got another 15 that are out probably, Stace, I would say.
We're supposed to be getting a shipment this week, but that shipment was supposed to happen in March, so we should
Yeah.
wait.
So just to advise the public that we're trying to get them in as they come in, because a lot of people have been waiting a long time for some of these to get in. But it's a great program. We want to encourage people to be a part of it still, and it's also the Memorial Tree Program, and hopefully we can get things in here to get them installed. So other than that, it's just operational stuff for us right now.
Thank you, Chad. Travis?
Yeah, I just have a couple updates too. So we've had the contractor come through, and they started taking down a lot of the dead ash on the streets, try and mitigate some of the hazard and just get rid of the unsightliness. So they've been mainly working south of the river, going through, working different areas at a time. So far, they've taken down about, 130-ish trees. So they're probably about halfway done with that, I want to say. We just got 136 trees in for the spring planting, so we are going to start hopefully planting some of the memorial trees starting next week as soon as we get some locates, and then move on to the terrace trees and start filling in some of that. And then flower beds should also be coming in towards the end of the month, now that the weather's finally starting to cooperate a little bit, and it's so that's all I got.
Thank you. Jenny?
Yes. So the Breakfast with the Bunny, an exciting day at the zoo. This was the first time the last 2 years we were not able to have those two events, so this is the first time they were back. So they went very well. We moved the location to Webster Stanley for the first year. The senior center, the building we used to have it in, the north building, it was really tight in there in the first place, and then since COVID and a lot of remodel over there, they have a lot of new equipment that really can't be moved or shouldn't be moved in that building, so we kind of had to find a new home for that. So it worked really well at Webster. We had to sell tickets per hour for the event, so we served 450 people, 150 per hour. So that went over really well, and everything at that event was sponsored, so everything that came in at the gate was revenue for us. So that was really nice. The only thing looking back is now that facility is coming down, so we'll have to see. I don't know if we'll be able to have it there next year yet, but we're going to have to find a different location to have it, and maybe we'll be able to find a school that we can kind of permanently keep it at, so it's not bouncing around every year. But it sounded good because it was right across from the park, and it would be really good logistic to the next event. So we'll see what happens with that. But it went well this year. And then Exciting Day at the Zoo also was very well attended. So between the two events, we brought in $4,500 for the zoo to put towards future exhibits and things. So it was really nice to have those events back, and everyone felt that way too. It was a really nice day. Everyone was out and about, so it was good to see that. Brews on the Zoo, so you'll see this handout here that Stacy had printed for everybody. Brews on the Bay, rather, I'm sorry. And this year we're doing a new Brews in the Zoo, the last one of the season. So last summer we kicked these off for the first time. We had 4 of them, and they were very well attended. We have a really good connection with the local breweries in town who serve craft beers, and we have a great, as you can see here, kind of sponsorship list of people who are involved in these beer gardens. Just really great to be out there in Menominee Park, right there on the bay, so boats can come in, families come in, there's food trucks, there's the bands that play, so just really nice nights, a lot of fun, a lot of people that enjoy them. So this year we're doing 7 of them in the park. And then we're doing the last one in the zoo as like an adult night before Zooloween. So this is our 20th annual Zooloween, which is really crazy. It's been going for 20 years and it's still just as busy as ever. So, but we thought we'd add a night aspect this year, kind of for the 20th anniversary. So that will be on October 14th in the zoo, the day before our Zooloween event. So these are the different nights and bands that we'll have down there, and it's great. It's a great, if the weather's nice, just seeing families come down and just hang out and visit. The train rides are open that night as well, so people go over there and take the train ride and come back and forth, and it's just a great night to be out in the parks. So that is the schedule for this year, which will be going out and getting kind of posted at all the sponsors soon. We just finalized this year. So the Menominee Park Zoo opened this past weekend, so it was a beautiful, beautiful weekend for the opening of the zoo. There's some great pictures out there. If you follow Visit Oshkosh, they do such an amazing job with their photographers, sending them out to events and then letting us use their pictures, but also posting on their page and tagging us. They do a really nice job. So there's some cool pictures out there from this weekend at the zoo, and just a great weekend for opening for sure. The Lake Fly Cafe will be opening at the end of this month, so it'll open on Memorial Day weekend on Saturday. And we do that unfortunately due to staffing. We used to open the first weekend in May, but we just can't make that work with staffing. So it'll be open Memorial Day to Labor Day. So we're excited about that too. Last year we were open, but it was still a lot of different restrictions and things. So this year we're excited to have a full gift shop again and lots of fun new stuff in there. So you can stop in and check that out. And then this is our new Parks Activity Guide, which Stacy put this together in Canva, so she did an amazing job. But this is all the events that I've run and dates and things that we do. Every single thing we do this summer is in here. So it has become a really great one-stop guide. You know, I keep this in here all the time, so if someone calls, I can just like quickly open it and throw the data at them. She's learned how to do QR codes and putting those on there because there's not enough room to put everything in here. So we have, you know, when we put it together, the Tuesday night concerts, the bands weren't booked yet. So we have the QR code in there that you can go, you know, and follow that now to see who's playing each week. Same thing with our Wildlife Wednesdays. We have 13 of them this year, so we can't fit all that information in here. So again, there's a link that you can go and follow. So really great guide. The Oshkosh Convention and Visitor Bureau was nice enough to sponsor this and print all these for us. So this is something too they give people as they come into town that might be new or for an event that they're coming in for things to do in town. So they have been really amazing. And we use them a ton and we hand them out a ton. And there also is a digital version online. That's really fun because when you click it, it makes a really fun sound.
Who cares about the months of time?
Right.
It swishes when you turn the page.
So, but we've figured that out too with the IT department, how to put that online. So people can just kind of look at it on there too. And it's just a one-stop shop for everything we offer. So this is something we've kind of wanted to do for a while. We've always had the 4 separate brochures. We had one for the zoo and one for the pool and one for the leach. And one just for general stuff, and so now it's all just in one. So yeah, stop by any of these things to see us, or again, if you know people who want to volunteer for any of them, or you have friends and family, you know, send them one. So that is all I have for right now.
This is super handy.
Yeah,
Very
it has
impressive.
been.
Yeah, it's
Looks
cool.
great.
It's something that we worked on in the off season. Well, there really is no
All
off season,
winter.
but we worked on it in November and December, trying to get things in here so that we could get it going right at the beginning of the year. So it's been really great for people to have and just to get stuff out there, and it's really helped getting, you know, sponsorships as well, because when I go talk to sponsors, I can kind of give them this, and you know, this is everything that we do. You know, what do you want to be involved in? So it's been a really great tool in a lot of ways, and Stace did a really nice job putting it together. So
We can have Stacy email the link to you so that if you do want to forward it to people that you might know, we can
Yeah.
send that out too.
yeah, so it'll be it's a very busy summer, but it'll be a very fun summer. So we're excited to be back at 100% with everything. So
Great. Thank you. All right. Any other business? Anything else? All right. I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Isn't it nice that we don't have to say you're on mute?